Fionna and Cake season 2 just finished dropping on Max or HBO Max, or whatever the fuck this service is called anymore. I don't fucking know anymore. Um, I enjoyed Fionna Cake season 1, and it was a really surprise show because, when I heard they were doing a show, I wasn't all over the Distant Land specials. Not that they're bad, but there was like ones I liked more than others. I really hated the BMO one. Well, hated's a strong word. I just didn't care for the BMO one. So I wasn't really sure what this show was going to be. It ended up being this really interesting new take on Adventure Time that was basically matured with his audience. Instead of being fun, goofy adventures, it was darker adventures with more adult themes. And Adventure Time has always had adult themes. But it just took those themes that were already present, expanded on them, went some dark places. This was a show that was clearly intended for adults. That's why it's on a streaming service, right? And that was really cool. This is not a show that if your kids watch, by the way, you'll be scarred. Like, if they like Adventure Time, let them check it out. But maybe be in the room for some of the certain moments in the show just because it goes some little bit darker places. But it's still a great show. I love this show. After that first season, very excited for season 2, like a lot of people were, but it was odd that season 2 didn't get a lot of marketing, and even this finale they dropped on Christmas Day, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen with the next season. But all that being said, I was disappointed with this season. Now, I will say it's a good season overall, but this season was very flawed. First of all, this season was about Finn, who is getting injured from the events of last season. Like, this is a follow-up season. But, so Huntress is having to kind of go across the multiverse to help save Finn, but ends up getting trapped in Fionna World, and so she has to kind of deal with some of Fionna World's problems. Here's what I will say. The biggest problem with this season, it is a ridiculous slow burn. A lot of the episodes are kind of meandering, where every episode we're hearing Huntress go on about needing the goddamn heart of the forest and her taking forever to figure that out. And it just felt so meandering because I'm like, you're just saying the plot over and over again and going through the motions of it. And so even when this show was good, and even when I was enjoying myself, I was still feeling like, wow, this show is really stretching its story out. I mean, I guess in the last season you could say that was similar to when the characters would go and look for the crown. I feel like they stated that every episode. But at least that we were getting such new, unique environments. This is not really a multiverse show anymore. Because a lot of it is on Fionna World, and then we just cut back to occasionally with, a little bit of other tiny bits of multiverse shenanigans. So it doesn't feel like the show's changing enough. And I don't know, I felt like... So, what really made this season strong was a lot of the great character interactions with certain characters. But I also felt disappointed because I felt like a lot of the season was building up to Finn and Fionna interacting, but you don't really actually see that. And it felt like maybe that could help them sort out their greater issues that they were dealing with. I mean, you see that towards the end of the season, kind of, but not really. I don't want to spoil that. So, So, overall, I will say I liked the season, and maybe if I watched it as a whole, instead of week to week, where, because you're watching it week to week, you're waiting for something to happen constantly, maybe I would enjoy it more. I do enjoy the unique visuals. I do enjoy, a lot of things about it. But it still was kind of messy and all over the place. I also enjoyed the origin for the Cosmic Owl stuff. And I thought that was interesting. And I hope to see something that expanded. There's clearly something set up for next season involving Marceline and Bubblegum. With the way they pass off the crown. So we'll see where that goes. I do wonder if we're even going to get a season 2. Because... not really sure how many people are tuning into this season after the lack of marketing and dropping a episode on Christmas Day. that's the finale of the season. Like, how many of you I actually woke up today and forgot this finale was coming out. But I remember I immediately jumped to watching it. But it is like, yo, how many people are watching the final episodes of shows like this on Christmas Day? I'm not sure. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe.